You have entered the Chronic's rabbit hole, and Epicans, Chronicans. We are doing an interview today from Guitar Interactive Magazine. This is Mark and Isaac talking about Download 2023 and much more. If you are new to the channel, welcome in. We do a lot of EPICA here. I love doing these interview reactions because it gives me some deeper information on the members, but also what questions they like and dislike, because we have our own podcast called Storytime with ETC where we like to interview some of our favorite artists and bands from the reactions that we have done. I know you guys would love to see an interview from us with this amazing band. I've picked this interview because I wanted to see what Isaac had to say a little bit more. I've seen a lot with Simone already. I've seen a lot with Mark as well, so I went with this one. If you guys want to see interviews like this come down the rabbit hole, please let me know by hitting that like button. Subscribe if you are new though, so you can see more of this amazing stuff. I'm ready to see what they have to say, because I believe Download 2023 is when they perform with Metallica, if I am not mistaken. All right.
So hi guys, Jonathan Graham here for Guitar Interactive Magazine. We're here with the lads from EPICA. How you doing today?
Really good, thanks.
Now, you know, something we've got to start with here, because obviously a big theme of Download's 20th anniversary here is these 2 nights with Metallica, right? You can't walk 5
there it is
years without seeing something to do. You guys have just shared the stage with these guys across Europe. Yeah. Can you share some stories of that? How has it been out on the road with them?
Well, it was a last-minute call that we got, so we weren't supposed to be on that tour, but Five Finger Death Punch, they had some issues going on with the singer, and then we got the call. It was, I think we got it on, let's say, a Saturday, and the next Wednesday we were playing in Paris. So
holy
that was
shit,
really, interesting, let's say it like that. But it was cool. A round stage, that's totally new. The concept, but we got received very well by the crowd, and also in Hamburg, so it was very
Absolutely.
nice.
And
Five Finger Death Punch is a band that has never come down the rabbit hole. If you guys would like to see that band, please let me know in the comments below. But thank God for us, hopefully nothing happened bad to the singer and everything, and hopefully the band's okay, but that we got to see Metallica and EPICA come together. And for me as a Metallica fan, that was one of the biggest news that I heard. And we know that Floor Jansen got to perform with Metallica as well, so that's incredible for a big Metallica fan myself.
I had a friend out there in Hamburg, and he was saying that, you know, he hadn't seen you guys for a few years, and he was like, wow. You know, it was almost like you were stealing the show, you know. You really used that space incredibly. But,
probably Simone, not me, but...
but, you know, just talking about that a bit in the round, because obviously we are used to seeing Metallica do that in the round, and they use that space so well. Could be a real challenge. Obviously, you guys have such an epic sound, you know, pardon the pun, but did that space add to the...
nice!
To the, you know, the enjoyment of performing like that?
Yeah, I was already at that stadium, Stade de France, like 30 years ago, and I could not imagine that 30 years later I would be playing there with EPICA.
Wow.
So it was like a dream coming true. First of all, to play with Metallica.
Yeah.
And secondly, to play in such a beautiful big stadium.
Yeah.
And in Hamburg the same. There, even though the stadium was a bit smaller, but it was more packed.
Yeah.
So there was even more people there in Hamburg. It was also an incredible experience.
Absolutely.
And we get to do it again in Gothenburg, in Sweden.
Fantastic, and you're going to be getting to do it again in just a couple of hours here in Donington at Download Festival 2023.
That's so cool to have that open space, because we've always seen them performing, and most people perform with nothing behind you. So that freedom, and I don't know if that like releases more tension or like helps with like the nerves or anything for performers, having people looking at them from behind and forward and having to do that whole pan, even though this band is very active when they're playing, so they do like to move already. So I think that really benefits a band like EPICA that are very enthusiastic and already are jumping around the stage. And I can only imagine, I've never performed with something behind me as well. Like if people were watching, there's a camera behind me, I don't have that, so that's really cool.
Now, for you guys, Donington must be a special location, eh? Like all the Monsters of Rock concerts, the downloads. You know, has there been, you got some particularly special memories of seeing Donington gigs performing here in the past?
Especially what we remember the best is the weather, and today it's today is fantastic. So it's
We
not too
waited-
hot and not too cold.
20 years of waiting to get a day like this in the UK.
I know,
No kidding,
the
eh?
one day I forget my sun cream, you know, I'm not gonna look good tomorrow, you know. But no, but that's that's the color I want to go, you know.
It is the Sicilian tan because I live in South Italy.
Yeah.
So I got,
Wow.
but the last month it was more raining than sunny, I must say.
Oh, fair enough.
It's the weather has
He's a
changed a
nature
bit.
lover,
So
isn't he,
in North
Mark?
Europe, great weather, and in the south it sucked.
Well, you know, it enhances everything, doesn't it? So one of the things from for your set today, of course, is going to be an incredible lineup of gear that you've got, and you're going to be using it. Is this a different rig that you're using for the download gigs as opposed to the solo shows and the support with Metallica?
Oh, my turn?
Your turn.
Well, since Metallica has a round stage, you can't hang a backdrop, you can't do shit pretty
Yeah.
much.
No.
Also putting risers on top of a round stage. it
That's
would make-
cool. I've never seen Metallica live, which is one of my biggest regrets. So that's cool to know that Metallica always plays with a round stage. I did not know that, and that's incredible to know that they're doing that every time.
sense. So we had a very, very easy setup for those shows, and then obviously now we're taking out the whole production for
Yeah.
this one. Or I'm not sure, is it the whole production today, or I think most of it.
With fireworks.
Yeah, fire and
Oh,
all
yeah.
that. Because it's
Fantastic.
not. We thought it would be like bad weather, so we wanted to warm up the crowd. But
With thunder and lightning going off.
exactly.
And,
So
yeah.
so I would say that for a regular show with a normal stage,
Yeah.
we bring out the whole production, and so I'm happy about that. But as far as instrumentation and all of that, it's kind of the same deal.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter if it's headlining or a festival.
And what
Yeah.
are you using right now? Gear-wise?
Gear-wise, I play Gibson Les Paul 7 strings,
Woo!
and we have Bogner amps added with digital stuff, quad cortex, and some pedals. Everything is MIDI controlled.
So you have a little bit of a blend there of the actual.
Yeah.
You get the is it the Uber Shell you're using?
Man, his
Yeah.
Les
Yeah, so
Paul
the Uber
7
Shell and
string.
what, the Fractal or something.
One of my
like that
favorite
combined
guitars.
with-
No, Neural DSP.
Oh, Euro DSP.
Yeah.
Okay, nice one.
Yeah.
So how does that tend to work then, where you actually get a blend? You using the sort of, the power amp to sort of drive stuff, and then getting a little bit more tone from the Fractal.
The amp, and it all depends on the PA
Oh, sorry,
system.
Neural. I
Yeah,
keep
Neural.
saying
Yeah.
Fractal. I'm
No
obsessed.
worries.
I'm obsessed with
Neural.
it. Neural DSP.
But our sound engineer, depending on the PA, loves the push of the amp.
Yeah.
And I think digital stuff has come a long way, and it sounds really killer. We use it for the in-ear system because
Yeah.
every day it's exactly the same. There's no mic. So you have the same sound in the ears for every show, and that is really cool. But yeah, we can blend it. Let's say if there's a solo or more guitars, he can push one of the faders, or so there's a lot more options for that.
Nice.
And what about yourself, mate? What have you got on stage?
What was the question?
Gear-wise, what are you using for today's
The
show?
same, but guitar-wise, Ibanez. I'm
Ibanez.
an Ibanez guy
Oh,
already
yeah.
since the beginning. Since the first guitar I saw at the wall at the local guitar shop was
Wow.
Ibanez. Ever since, always Ibanez.
Absolutely. So, you guys.
Oh my
toured
god, like look at those. Mark smiles so much with his eyes. You can see those crinkles, and he's just such an happy person that I would love to have a chance to talk with. They're so passionate about everything they do, and they just did Ride with EPICA, which was to fundraise for a bunch of the stray dogs. So like it just shows their character and why Mark for me always had this soft side to him, even though he's the one growling and all that you can just see through it all.
a lot. You're prolific with that, and you go all over the place. You ever picked up any bits of gear, from local guitar stores or something you've seen online recently that you just can't put down? A guitar pedal or new?
I once picked up a pocket pot. That was when back in the days when it was just started. It was easy plug and wherever you are in the backstage. But Usually everything is already so well organized by
Yeah.
our
They got something
guitar
figured out
tech,
already.
so I don't need to pick up anything. When there's something missing, he already fixes it before we even can think
it's
about
more
it.
for the fun, you know, the going on the guitar safari. I mean, that's the thing. We're all players, even at your level. I'm sure you still just love to collect bits and pieces, and you know, you see something that catches your eye, and it adds to the collection.
I still like to collect guitar picks, though. So whenever there were some guitar picks thrown in the crowd, also by James Hetfield, for example, I still like it. So I have 4 picks now.
Do you have mine?
Huh?
Do you have mine?
Yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have also a pick of yours. So yeah. I even play with it.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's better, right? Makes you play better.
Absolutely. So you know,
I've never caught a pick at a concert. That's one of my goals.
it's been a little bit now since Omega, you know, and obviously the way things are these days, as soon as something new comes out and the tour is gone, people straight away they're looking for a new full-length release, and they want to hear some more. You know, the demand is always there, and people, of course, these days on social media, they can hit you every day with it. When is the new music coming? So are we going to hear some new music soon?
Yes!
Fantastic.
Yes,
we
they are.
already started working on new music. And I don't know actually the status of every band member because everybody's now in their own home studios making music.
Yeah.
So I know that I am, and I know he is because he talked about it.
Right.
But I don't know from everybody. I don't know, for example, Rob, if he already has some songs. But personally,
hope
it's going
so.
well, and I'm in a flow of inspiration. And
Right
let's see
on.
how Isaac is doing.
That is amazing because this is 2023. This is after the Alchemy project's already been put out, and to know that they are already working on some new stuff. Oh!
Well, I have a 2.5-year-old, so my flow of inspiration is not really 100%, but yeah, I'm working on a couple of
I
ideas.
feel you there, man. We got a 6-month-year-old in. It is hard to even get to this camera.
And actually for the next album I thought, you know, I kind of have to, you always want to reinvent yourself, don't do the same thing. So I'm still like scanning, like what can I do to break out of the usual way of writing. If something happens with that or not, we'll see, but I just like
That's
to
exciting.
just think it over and see what else I can do with those 7 strings, you know.
Yeah, of course.
And,
Mark is so aware.
yeah, so
Oh,
that's
man.
happening right now. Then after festivals, we're gonna start. We have some writing camps where we all get together and start to puzzle things together.
Nice.
You know, work on each other's ideas.
So you work on your separate ideas, you come together to I mean,
Exactly.
it would have to be, I think, for the style of the music, and it means, I mean, it would just be, it would be, you know, wizardry, I think, if it all just came together like that without you guys actually discussing it at some point. But has that always been the way that it's been, that you guys work on things separately and then bring it together, or is
Well,
that...
lately I would say the last years, but in the beginning, obviously, it was more like.
The beginning was even just like in the rehearsal room.
Yeah,
and sitting together with the only guy who had a home studio at the time, and then getting it all together. But he was always more interested in showing us funny videos, and then and sometimes we got nothing done. That's the disadvantage. When you are working yourself, you know, okay, I get things done. But when you are depending on somebody else,
Fair enough.
Yeah, but sometimes you also have an idea. We did that for the latest album. Like he had an idea and kind of got stuck, and he just passed it on to me. Like maybe you know how it should progress. So we wrote that song in just a couple of days later. We had a very long song, like 30-minute song, and yeah. So whatever works, we try to do that.
Yeah, whatever works. And of course, you guys, you don't put anything out until it's absolutely perfect, and it's progressing the lore, you know, like of the band. You know, you get something new to say. Taking it back to like the early days with the guitar. Do you remember anything that was particularly challenging for you, like early on? You know, just maybe like some riff or a guitar part that you were trying to learn, or you know that you just for some reason it was a real learning block.
You mean the early days in the band, or early days as?
Could be in the band, could be just you picking up the guitar.
I remember. So I started learning music through classical guitar. I wanted to be a drummer, but my dad said no way. So I picked up classical guitar, and then I was around 7 or 8 when that happened. And then when I was 11, I got my first electric guitar. And I remember the like the width of the neck was smaller, so it was weird. I had to play with a guitar pick, and I was used to play with my fingers, so I kind of left it there. And then, but I remember it was cool, obviously, to start a band, and so that's what I did. And then I was in school trying, like I would take this, for instance, and with a guitar pick I'd be doing like
Practicing
exercises during school time, you know.
Nice.
But obviously it didn't make sense because it's not a string, but I thought, you know, if I practice hard enough, it'll come faster. But yeah, so that's what happened. And then with
it's an interesting question, very personal, and I still like this guy's gall to like get that deep in such a quick interview where like you could be talking about so many other things, but to get into their history, I really appreciate this interviewer.
EPICA, I did one day, because I wasn't in the band from the beginning, but I did one show in France in the early days. So they asked me, hey, could you fill in for the guitar player? Yeah, sure, it's symphonic metal, it won't be that hard, you know. I was in thrash and death metal bands back then. And then I heard the music and I had to figure it out, and there were certain riffs that were so hard to play. I couldn't believe it. So I went to the other guitar player who couldn't make it for that show, to his place, and then I thought I kind of figured it out, and then every other riff he'd be like, no, it needs to be tighter, it's like this, you know, and I was like, oh shit, I really need to work. I thought it would be like power chords, but
that's actually what I thought too. That's why I stayed away from symphonic metal at the beginning. Like Isaac was saying, like I was growing up on thrash metal the whole time, so transitioning to symphonic, I didn't think it would be as technically sound. But that was a great question to then bring up some of his personal and onto jumping into some symphonic, which then led to his EPICA, obviously. Wow. You can see Mark thinking.
And he also has a completely different technique than the other guitar player. So when he joined the band, I had to also, keep up with his playing.
Interesting.
Right.
Yeah, because then all the riffs he recorded on the album is with a completely different technique. So I had to study in the beginning a lot, but nowadays when there's some songs and it goes faster because
Now the
already the
chemistry's
basics
amazing.
is there. But that's very good because then you learn completely new things. He probably had that with Art when he sat down with him.
Sure.
And I had that when Isaac joined the band.
Yeah, of course.
That you learn completely new techniques.
Yeah, well look guys, thanks so much for taking some time with us to talk.
Thank you too.
Hopefully we'll get round there to see this incredible EPICA set, but have a great one and enjoy the rest of the festival.
we sure will. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks. Yeah. Oh man, good stuff, eh? That was an awesome one. I really wanted to see what Isaac had to say there. I think Isaac is such an inspirational guy for the band itself. I think he did so much for EPICA when he joined them. Even like Mark is saying, he had to up his game and change some of his techniques and learn new techniques once Isaac came in. I also just love seeing how they talk and how they think and just how their minds work and psychologically, and this is why I would love to interview EPICA themselves as a whole band or as individuals. So please let me know in the comments below who you would like me to see interview first from EPICA, or if you want me to try to get them all into one, we can try to swing for that as well. I do like the interviews where it's just one person, a little bit more than the full band, just because it's a lot to juggle, and I always feel like someone's like left behind and like I'm not answering enough questions for them. I think this guy did a really good job giving both of them the mics, even though they kind of took it on themselves, Isaac and Mark, passing it on. It showed just the fun that they have together. It's incredible they got to perform with Metallica. That's like what I think every single band would want to do. I know if I had a band, I'd want to perform with Metallica as well. It's really cool to know they have the circle stage the whole way. But if you guys want to see more interviews like this, come down the rabbit hole for EPICA. If you want to see more of, like, say, Kuhn, Rob, and Simone, please let me know. I haven't seen much of Kuhn and Rob talking, so maybe I can try to find an interview with those two talking. We love EPICA here. I know you guys do too, so please let me know with that like button. Comment down below if you want to see some more interviews like this. And if you want to see us interview EPICA on Storytime, and if you have not subscribed yet to the channels, please consider to do so and be a part of this Enter the Chronic family. But we are now exiting the rabbit hole, folks. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me today. I do these interview reactions because I like to learn about the people that we are reacting to music for and to find out more about them as a human being. You guys know me. I have a good time with you guys, and I love to know more about you guys too. So definitely come and join that Discord. I'll throw that in the descriptions below so you can chat with us outside of YouTube as well and get to know each other better. But for now, peace and love. God bless y'all.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Enter the Chronicness.
Special thanks to all of our YouTube, Patreon, and Buy Me a Coffee members. Thank you for all of your support.